guys, my name is Crystal. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome old subscribers, welcome new. If you like my videos, please press the like button and please do subscribe. Alexa, good morning.
Good morning. On this day in 1956, one of the most famous musicals of all time, My Fair Lady, opened on Broadway for the first time. That was a little bit of blooming luck.
Alexa, celebrity birthdays today.
Today's famous birthdays include American actress Eva Longoria, Indian actress Alia Bhatt, Canadian film director, screenwriter and actor David Cronenberg, French Association football player Paul Pogba, and American professional wrestler Maxwell Friedman.
Right guys, this is my YouTube channel. I obviously talk about my life. I do respect that other people have had worse lives than me. I do respect that. There's terrible things going on in the world, and if I had the money, I would help everybody that I could. That's me. I am a poor nobody, so to speak, that's just telling my story, and I have no ideas that I'm above myself. I know I'm just an ordinary member of the public, and I know that people have been through worse things than me. But I think everybody should be able to say their piece, say their story, whatever walks of life they're from, and if people disagree with it, then they just switch off and don't listen. But I do believe everyone has a right to say that what's happened to them. Everybody should, whatever walk of life they come from, and they shouldn't be persecuted for it or ridiculed either. What I'm saying is 100% true. I lost my child into foster care, and I believe it was wrong, a wrong decision, a very wrong decision. I went to solicitors from 2008 onwards to try and get my child back, because I couldn't have full access to my children because I was homeless for 2.5 years, living in temporary accommodation. So although I had 50-50 access to my 3 other children, I wasn't getting it because I didn't have a proper roof over my head. And a lot of men that abuse women tell the police, tell social services, tell solicitors that the wife, girlfriend, whatever, and it happens the other way around as well. I'm not just saying it's men against women, it does happen the other way. They tell the services that you're completely mad, and they would do. If they're a child abuser, if they're a woman batterer, they're going to tell the police lies, they're going to tell social services lies, and they're going to tell solicitors lies. And if they fucking have a good solicitor, then they're going to beat you, aren't they? I did what I thought was right. I went to solicitors, and they kept sticking up for my ex, which I thought was strange. You're my solicitor. Why are you saying you agree with my ex if you're my solicitor? You should be defending me. I had solicitors saying my ex was a lovely man. He was a wonderful man. He was a great man. And you know, they didn't even know him. I'd lived with him for years, and I knew. I'd witnessed it. The kids had witnessed it. So when I came down to Chatham thinking that my parents would help me in some sort of way or other, and it never came about, some weird shit was going on, trying to stop me talking to my children, because I've already said my mum was hiding the phone, she was hiding the doorbell, and it was like I was being hidden. I'd gone to the police, and I thought, the police ain't doing anything. what the hell is going on here? Like, no one gives a shit about me, you know, just whatever. So in the coming years, I met my son's social worker, and she was called Julie Miles, and God, that James Green was the other one. His name was James Green. And my dad took me, his daughter, to visit Julie Miles and James Green in the Pentagon Centre, where we had a cup of tea together. We had a cup of tea together. My mum did not come, just me and my dad sat with my son's social workers. James Green was a student social worker. So he wasn't a proper social worker, he was a student. And they said they'd come from somewhere like Canterbury to come and see me and my dad. So we waited at the train station and we met them off the train station, and they didn't have a hair out of place. We met them at Chatham train station, didn't have a hair out of place. And my dad said they looked like they've just come off one stop. Or they've just, you know, did they actually come off a train, or had they come by car? They didn't look messy at all. So me and my dad were sat in the Pentagon Centre having a cup of tea, and unfortunately, before I'd met these two, I'd got allegedly raped in Chatham near the library and the Command House pub. So I'd been allegedly raped. You have to say allegedly, because the rapist was never caught. The police never found him, never questioned them. I had an invasive, where they take sperm samples from you and hair samples to get the rapist DNA. I'd gone all through that. They'd got rid of the evidence. They hadn't done anything to find this alleged rapist. The Kent police in 2008. So I was vulnerable, I was upset, I was missing my children, I'd been allegedly raped, and these two social workers had come down and was discussing me getting my son back. And Julie Miles and James Green said, well, if you try and get yourself a flat away from your parents, I think that will help getting towards you having your son back out of care. And then he said to me, why haven't you got a job? He was a stuck-up kid. He went, why aren't you working? And he spoke to me like that. I said, because they were all for my ex. They were on my ex's side. I had no one on my side at all. No one. I had no workers, no counsellors, nobody to help me. I felt so overwhelmed and upset. And I said, you know what it feels like to be allegedly raped? I've been trying to get back to my kids for months, and I've had my home repossessed. I've been allegedly raped, and now I found out my son's got cancer and I can't see him. And I said, that's why I can't work at the moment. That's why I can't work. And I was in tears. I was absolutely in tears. They hadn't brought my son down to see me. They hadn't done anything to get me to see my son. They told me lies because I did get a flat in 2011, and they still didn't let me see my adopted son. So, I've got nothing to lose. I have absolutely got nothing to lose. I have not had proper contact with my kids since my daughter was 6. My adopted son was taken off me at 2.5. I did have 50-50 access, but I never got 50-50 access of my kids. Alright? I did several things to try and get my son out of care myself. I went to solicitors in Gloucestershire, I went to solicitors in Chatham, I went to solicitors in Gillingham. It all fell through. I had to have a DNA test to prove that my adopted son was mine, and it was bloody obvious he was, and it was a complete waste of taxpayers' money to ask me to undergo a DNA test when it was obvious that that child was mine, for obvious reasons that I understand. Dr. Ali of the Halfway Surgery in Chatham told me I was going there, and that doctor that was found out to be abusing female patients at the Halfway Surgery was the one who told me to go and have a DNA test. And he'd been abusing women patients, allegedly. He was struck off or something. He doesn't work at the Halfway Surgery anymore, does he? He was in the newspapers for assaulting a female patient. So I had a DNA test. I had to go to 2 mental health checks, and they were diagnosing me with what my mum had, chronic schizophrenia, with paranoid delusions, because I was telling the truth. I wasn't lying, I was telling the truth. My father was physically abusing me, but I was labelled with this fucking shit, which wasn't true, to hide what they were doing. And Dr. Ali said to me, Crystal, I'm not giving you strong medication like that. He didn't believe I had what was diagnosed, and he said that causes heart trouble. That could cause you more harm than good, and he wouldn't prescribe it. He wouldn't prescribe schizophrenic medication because he didn't believe I was schizophrenic, okay? There was a lot of fucking hocus pocus, fucking bollocks going on. I'd go into Dr. Ali's surgery and a patient called Jennifer was being called in before me. Jennifer, your turn. It's been going on for far too long. I wrote to the Queen about what had been going on. I said, I think my human rights are being breached. Can you help me get my son out of foster care? And one of the ladies in waiting wrote back and said what the Queen had told her. And they said, the Queen has advised us that you should go and speak to Eric Pickles. Eric Pickles was a government member back in 2008, 9, 10 and 11. Alexa, who was Eric Pickles?
Eric Jack Pickles, Baron Pickles, PC, is a British Conservative Party politician who served as Member of Parliament for Brentwood and Ongar from 1992 to 2017. He served in David Cameron's cabinet as Secretary of State for Communities and Local Government from 2010 to 2015.
So the Queen herself advised one of her ladies in waiting